Welcome into the Commanders Report live show here on Christmas Eve. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Thank you to everybody and all the real ones that are watching us here on December 24th. Man, Christmas is tomorrow. Man, it really crept up on us, didn't it? But we got some Commanders content for you guys this week here. And I can't wait to get it going with you guys. We got producer Coop behind the mic today as well. And Coop, we got the Christmas season here. And, you're going to be celebrating Hanukkah. But it's going to be a nice little, Commanders Report live show here before we take a little bit of a break for Christmas.
Absolutely. I hope you guys are enjoying time with your family and everybody's having a good holiday season so far. The Commanders are in the midst of a playoff race, though, and there is a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. So first up today, Colin Cowherd had a very interesting take on Jayden Daniels and the Commanders earlier this week on his show, where I'm going to be breaking down what he said and why I agree with it. And then also we'll be getting into my Week 17 preview, Commanders versus Falcons, Sunday Night Football, lots of playoff implications in that football game. We'll break down keys to victory, team trends, my official score prediction, the whole 9 yards. Then as always, we have our Commanders Report live Q&A. So if you have a question and you want to get it on the show, it's free to do so. You guys can use hashtag Commanders along with your question down there in the live chat. All you have to do is get down there in the comments section, type hashtag Commanders, and then put your question next to that. So for example, you put in the comment section, hashtag Commanders, will Jayden Daniels win MVP this year? And I'll answer that question on the mailbag for you guys today.
What's your answer for that?
My answer is no.
Why not?
Jayden Daniels is a phenomenal quarterback. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year this year, Coop. But, there's certain other quarterbacks that have played slightly better than Jayden Daniels, and that's okay. But I'm pretty sure he's going to win an MVP in the first 3 years of his NFL career. He's that good.
He might, man. I mean, he is really special, and I think there was all the debate around Jayden Daniels and Drake May, which one should the Commanders pick, and it looks like they picked the right one. And that's not to say Drake May is not going to be a good quarterback in this league, but I think Daniels fits exactly what the Commanders are trying to do.
Yeah, honestly, with the way May and Daniels are playing, I mean, it's kind of like, you couldn't go wrong with either one. Now, I think Jayden has elevated his team more than May has in New England. I think he's more consistent than May is. So I do think the Commanders made the right call. But, Drake May certainly looks like he has a bright future here as well. I want to give a shout-out here to the people in the chat here before we get into our sponsor read. Shout out to JG, says Merry Christmas, Jack and Coop and everyone. Got Backdoor Jerome. We got Jim Hope, who says Merry Christmas, Jack. Merry Christmas, Jim. We got Cassie with my girlfriend in the chat, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas.
Hello, Cassie.
We got John Masood in here, says Merry Christmas. What's up, John Masood? Let's go. We got ZX here. We got Landon. We got Richard Barker. We got a good crew of Commanders fans here. I mean, I know it's Christmas Eve, guys. I know you guys might have other stuff to do, so I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching today's Commanders Report live show. And today's Commanders Report live show is sponsored by our friends at PrizePicks. And PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this holiday season and really any time of year. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. So you guys can see here what a little bit of a projection looks like. They have more than just football, guys. They got basketball. When baseball gets going again, they got baseball. They even have NASCAR on PrizePicks. So whatever you guys want to get a projection in, you can do that. Here is our NBA projection. We're taking the more on points for Nikola Jokic, taking the more on points, rebounds, and assists for Luka Doncic, and we're taking the less on points for Rudy Gobert. If you guys want to get in on the fun today, you can download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup and use code CLNS when you download the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, run your game. If you guys want to send in a donation today, we are going to be spinning the Naughty or Nice wheel for $10 today, and where if it goes on the naughty list, you get 1 raffle ticket for our jersey raffle for this Sunday night's watch party. And then also, if you get on the nice list, you get 3 raffle tickets to win a Commanders jersey on our watch party on Sunday night. Also, YouTube takes 30% of every single super chat dollar you guys send in. So if you guys send in your donations via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal today, we will actually double the raffle tickets that you win today, all right? So if you want to send in a Venmo, you can find me at Jack Sperry. You can find me # Captain Jack 19 on Cash App or at Captain Jack Rabbit on PayPal. Take a screenshot of the screen right now if you're watching us on mobile so you always know where you guys can send in the money. Also, it's down in the comments and description of today's show in case you need to see that. We got our first super chat of the day. Says Kalawawa, who says, you're my favorite Commanders channel. Do you think we will take the 6th seed? It's certainly possible. You look at the NFC playoff picture right now, and, the Packers and Vikings and the Lions just keep winning, right? So, one of those teams are going to have to lose. The Commanders are going to have to probably win out here, in my opinion, to be able to get that 6th seed. We'll see what ends up happening with Minnesota, with Green Bay, and, of course, with the Detroit Lions in the weeks to come. But honestly, Green Bay's playing really good football right now. So I'm honestly thinking that the Commanders are probably going to end the season in the 7th seed. And honestly, right now, it's looking like that's going to be a matchup between them and the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round. And sign me up for that, Coop. I would love to sing some more Cry Eagles Cries.
That would be something, man. I mean, it was a great game last week, and to see a rematch like that again, unfortunately, I don't think I favor the Commanders in a rematch, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think, you look at teams like Minnesota, you look at teams like Green Bay, you look at other teams in the NFC. Honestly, I think that, because of the familiarity with the Eagles being a division rival and that kind of thing,
absolutely,
I honestly think the Commanders' best shot might be against the Philadelphia Eagles. They've played them hard twice.
I like that spin zone.
And, that's my spin right now,
I like
man.
it.
And I would love to end Jalen Hurts and the Eagles season.
I love the way they're talking to you.
And there's a lot of people making excuses saying, Kenny Pickett, Jalen Hurts
but
was
Jack,
injured. It's like you scored 36 points on their supposedly best defense in football, right? So I feel good about this Commanders team, man. It's going to be a lot of fun for the rest of the season. Let's see if Kalawawa is naughty or nice. Let's go. Is he going to get 1 or is he going to get 2 or 3 raffle tickets?
Let's
It
go.
looks like 3 raffle tickets for Kalawawa with that $10 super chat. Let's go, man. Speaking of Cry Eagles Cry, man, do we want to sing a Cry Eagles Cry song here?
Yeah, I just don't know all the lyrics to it.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah, send it to me.
I'll send
but
them
we
to
can sing it.
I'll send them to you
I'm
right now.
definitely into sing it.
Because Coop wasn't with us when on the watch party on Sunday.
I was not.
He was on the Dolphins watch party,
Yep.
actually. So here we go, Coop. But we had a lot of fun singing the Cry Eagles Cry songs, man. So,
and I hate the Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan. So
absolutely.
I can sing
So we can sing this all together. 3, 2, 1. Cry, Eagles, cry, on the road to a defeat. Cry, Eagles, cry, give up a touchdown. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hit 'em low, get 'em high, and watch those Eagles cry. Cry, Eagles, cry, on the road to a defeat. EAGLES, losers! Let's go! All right, man. If you guys, by the way, I'm going to say this right now. Every time somebody sends in a $10 donation today, we'll sing a Cry Eagles Cry song and spin the wheel for you
If
guys.
that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what does. You basically don't have a pulse.
Absolutely. And by the way, we will be going live. It'll be me and Joey Peterson going live on Sunday night. Commander Joey will be here on Sunday with me here in the producer chair. We're going to be going live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, okay, for that Sunday night football matchup. If the Commanders win, they clinch a spot in the playoffs, all right? So this is a big game for the Burgundy and Gold. If you want to watch the game with us, we'll be here at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time with our pregame coverage followed by live play-by-play coverage and extensive postgame coverage as well. Before we get into our first segment today, I want to give a big shout out here to our Hog Mafia members. These are the people that have put in $50 or more on a singular Commanders Report live show. So shout out to IQ Barbecue, Marco Gorman, Omar's Burner, Load Buddy Bear, Luke O'Gorman, TJ, Commando Mike, James Howard, Russell Hance, Jerry Gettings, Jamie R., Luis, and John Masood. Let's go, baby. All right, so now let's get into our first segment of the day. Oh, wait, but before we get into that, I want to know who's in the chat. Type those me's in the chat if you have clicked that thumbs up icon. Spam those me's. We got 78 people watching. I need to get to at least 30 likes before we get into our first segment today, all right? We need to get to 30 likes before we get into our first segment. We got Jasmine Gray in here. We got Eugene. Says, if we can't beat the Falcons after beating the Eagles, I think teams are 3-10 after playing the Eagles this year. It's not easy to play anybody after you play the Eagles because they take everything out of you.
This Commanders team will beat Michael Penix.
I certainly hope that as well. We got Eugene in here, your boy Football Elite. We're 3 likes away from getting into our first segment. We got Ice VR. Jasmine Gray is in here. Make sure you get those hashtag Commanders questions in as well. We've got JG. We've got El Catone. Landon is in here. Eugene is in here. Donald is here. Played Out. Derek Perry is here. And by the way, I have a live poll going right now, Coop. Where does Jayden Daniels rank among quarterbacks in the National Football League right now? 2% say he's overrated. 4% say he's top 15. 41% say he's top 10. 53% of respondents say he's already top 5. What do you have to say to that?
I know you Commanders fans are obviously biased and whatnot. Jayden Daniels is not a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. You can argue he's top 10. I'll give you that.
I think he's definitely top 10 right now.
You can't say he's top 5 yet, man. I know you guys love him. I know he's Rookie of the Year.
Everybody go boo in the chat. Boo.
If I have to be the voice of reason, so be it.
All right, let's get into our first segment here. Colin Cowherd had some very interesting things to say about Jayden Daniels and the Commanders. I'll let you know what he said here in just a second. My thoughts, and we'll break down some Jayden Daniels stats for you guys. Week 17 preview versus the Falcons is also coming up later in the show. Don't forget, hashtag Commanders down there in the live chat for the Commanders Report live Q&A. Without further ado, let's get into our first segment. Colin Cowherd said what? I'm about to tell you right now. Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about what Colin Cowherd had to say about the Washington Commanders on his show earlier this week, and what he said might just surprise you, man. So before we get into what Colin had to say here, I want to tell you guys, this is something that when I saw him say this, I just absolutely could not believe that he was saying this about Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders after several of the things that he has said about this team in the past. But before we get to what Colin had to say here, make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. We provide you guys free and informative Commanders content every single day. If you guys want more of that, make sure you click that subscribe button to never miss a video. So I really didn't expect this, guys, but Colin Cowherd went on his show this week and he praised just Jayden Daniels and the Washington Commanders on his show this week. And he went on pretty much an entire segment talking about how impressed he is with the Commanders rookie quarterback and how he believes that the Commanders are the up-and-coming team in the National Football League today. This is what Colin had to say. Why the NFL is king? Because you can get the right coach and the right rookie quarterback. You draft the right guy, and you can go from an NFL embarrassment for over a decade to the playoffs in 3 months. And that's what you're seeing in Washington. Jayden Daniels does not have a great roster. He's got one big-time weapon. But you can see some Lamar Jackson. You can see the poise. You can see 10 to 15 years of playoffs. That final drive against the Eagles, what was great about that, not just the 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns by Jayden Daniels, he threw a pick on the previous drive. So what? Unfazed. Let it loose. Didn't care. Here's what's amazing about this kid, and I've said this before, the difference between the haves and the have-nots at quarterback. When are they good? It can't just be when everything's great. This kid has a 106 passer rating while trailing That's like GOAT stuff right there. So listen, man, I completely agree with Colin on this. You know, sometimes Colin's a clown and sometimes he says some incendiary things and some very ridiculous things, but he's right about Jayden Daniels, man. This is somebody that is absolutely special, and, you know, him being paired with the right head coach in Dan Quinn, the right offensive play caller in Cliff Kingsbury, has taken this team from an absolute embarrassment year in and year out in this Washington football franchise to one that is likely going to be a playoff contender for a very long time and probably a Super Bowl contender for a very long time, as long as Jayden Daniels stays healthy and Dan Quinn is the head coach of this football team. Not to mention, he elevates this team in the biggest of moments. Like Colin points out, guys like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr. These guys can look great when they got great protection, when, you know, they have a lead, all these different things in its second down and 2. But when Jayden Daniels looks great is when it's like the fourth quarter, when it's third and long and you got to have a big first down conversion. Jayden Daniels absolutely delivers in those moments. And the question is not whether or not Jayden Daniels is a great quarterback. Nobody questions that. The question is, where does he already rank in his rookie season? Is it too much to say he's a top 10 quarterback or a top 5 quarterback already in just his rookie season? Last year we were saying very similar things about CJ Stroud, and he has definitely regressed in his sophomore season. So is it too early to say that Jayden Daniels is a top 10 or a top 5 NFL quarterback? Well, coming up here on the Commander's Report, I'm going to be breaking down his stats, going over the advanced analytics, all these different things that I look at when I'm evaluating quarterbacks, and I'm going to tell you where I rank Jayden Daniels among NFL quarterbacks today. But before we get into that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this football season. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus, guys. It's guaranteed when you use code CLNS and you play a $5 lineup. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. And it's more than just football, guys. Basketball, hockey, all the different sports going on right now. UFC, whatever you guys can think of, Prize Picks has projections for it. And here we have a basketball projection, taking the more on points with Nikola Jokic, taking the more on points, rebounds, and assists for Luka Doncic, and the less on points for Rudy Gobert. You guys can get in on the fun right now by downloading the Prize Picks app today and using code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the Prize Picks app today. Prize Picks, run your game. So you take a look at kind of the baseline stats here for Jayden Daniels here in 15 games played here to start his career. Now remember, he went out early in the Carolina game, so it's more like 14 games at this point. So the completion percentage, really, really good, almost 70%. The yards per game gets a little bit skewed because he left that Carolina game early, but still 270 yards is really good. It's actually closer to around 300 yards per game when you take both passing and rushing production. He has been unbelievably productive in that area. 28 touchdowns to just 13 interceptions and fumbles this year. He has been one of the best at taking care of the football, and he's one of the best here at getting that total production out of the touchdown production as well. Then you look at the accuracy metrics. This guy's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in football already. All right, the adjusted completion percentage currently ranking 3rd in the National Football League at 79.3%. This catchable ball percentage, which ranks the amount of his throws that are catchable and thrown into the vicinity of a receiver, 87.7, which ranks 8th. So he is extremely accurate. He's not throwing a lot of balls that have no chance of being caught. And that's certainly something that you look for in a franchise NFL quarterback. Then you look at some of the key percentages here. Positive play percentage is any play with a positive EPA number. Okay, 47.7% of his plays, he has a positive EPA rating. That is 16th in the National Football League. Not that great, honestly. It's about average. His boom percentage is about 20%. is about 20%, which ranks 21st. So that's plays with EPA ratings over 1 expected points added there. Then the bust percentage, or as I like to call it, the doom percentage, 15.1% with that ranks 15th in the league. So honestly, these numbers aren't the best in the league. But then you look at some other key metrics here. The EPA per play is absolutely off the charts here. The only quarterbacks in the league that have a higher EPA per play, and by the way, that is accounting for both rushing and passing production, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff. That's it. All right, so Jayden Daniels already top 5 in EPA per play in just his rookie season. His yards per attempt is sitting at 7.6. That's ranking 13th in the league. His passer rating is top 10. His big-time throw percentage is honestly a little bit lower. It's only 19, so honestly the big-time throws haven't been there in large chunks for Jayden. Honestly, his big-time plays are mostly on the ground. And then the turnover-worthy play percentage is currently ranking 3rd. As I mentioned earlier, is one of the best at protecting the football out of any starting quarterback in our league today. So in my opinion, guys, I'm going to say Jayden Daniels is a top 10 quarterback right now. I'm not going to go as far to say that he's top 5, all right, because you've got the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Josh Allens of the world, the Patrick Mahomeses of the world, the Matthew Staffords, the Justin Herberts of the world that have been superstar-level quarterbacks for multiple seasons and have really solidified themselves in that ranking. But Jayden Daniels is definitely not that far off, man. I do think he's in the top 10. The way that he's able to make things happen with both his arm and his legs, the fact that he is elevating this Commanders team in the biggest of moments, even when they're trailing, even in the fourth quarter, even when the game is on the line. This guy is playing his best football in those moments, and he's not reliant on a great run game. He's not reliant on staying on schedule all the time. He's not reliant on always having a lead to get victories in this league. He's already doing things that superstar quarterbacks do. I think he's a bona fide superstar. He's going to win an MVP in the first 3 years of him being in the National Football League, and without much longer here, I don't think it's going to be undeniable anymore, man. He's got to be a top 5 quarterback eventually. So let me know down there in the comments section. Fill in the blank for me. Jayden Daniels is a top blank quarterback in the NFL right now as a rookie. Does he crack that top 5 already? Is he in the top 10? Is he overrated? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments section. And as always, give me your reasoning. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're going to be breaking down the entire Jayden Daniels saga here on the Commanders Report in the years to come. So if you want daily videos on Jayden Daniels on this Commanders team all throughout the 2024 season and beyond, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. First segment in the books, Mr. Coop. And, for once, Colin Cowherd said something pretty smart.
Blind squirrel finds a nut? Is that
I guess so, man. And maybe Jayden Daniels' talent is so, great that it's just undeniable.
He is awesome, man. I really do like Jayden, and it makes the NFC East that much more interesting. Now the basement dweller is by far the New York Giants, and we'll see what they do at quarterback. But the quarterbacks in the NFC East are really talented. I mean, with Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Jayden Daniels, and we'll see whether it's Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, or whoever the Giants end up getting. It'll be a fun division.
Well, in terms of pure talent, I mean, Jayden Daniels is the best pure talent in the division at the quarterback position.
I don't know if he is or not.
Well, who's better?
Dak might be better.
No, he's not. Well, so physically gifted?
He might
talented?
He might be more talented.
No, he's not.
He might be.
That is a ridiculous thing to say from a Cowboys fan right there.
He might be.
He's not providing what Jayden does on the ground.
He could if he wanted to.
No, he could not.
He could.
I cannot believe you just said that. You think Dak Prescott can be as good of a rushing quarterback as Jayden Daniels?
If they wanted to use him that way, he could.
No way.
I've seen it.
I can't believe that those words just came out of your mouth.
I've seen it.
No, you have not. I guarantee you right now, Jayden Daniels' total EPA as a rusher is higher than it ever has been with Dak Prescott in his entire NFL career for any season.
Who gives a shit about EPA?
Every front office in the National Football League.
EPA is
every
the Environmental Protection Agency no one cares about.
Oh my goodness. Everybody say F Coop in the chat because he has no idea what he's talking about right now. I don't know if the eggnog is going to his head right now. Do you drink eggnog, Coop? You do, right?
I do like eggnog.
Enjoy that eggnog on Hanukkah morning tomorrow, Coop.
Oh, I will.
You know what I'm talking about? All right, let's get into our next segment. Make sure you guys get those questions in. If you want to tell Coop that he's an absolute idiot for saying that Dak Prescott is as good of a runner as Jayden Daniels.
The Cowboys are a joke of a franchise, and they still have a Super Bowl more recent than you Jits.
He's talking shit, Commanders fans. Here, I wish I could tortilla slap you, but I can't. But yeah, there's no way you're going to accept that. Again, guys, our promotion today: $10 donations. We'll spin the naughty or nice wheel for you. If you land on the nice list, you get 3 raffle tickets for the jersey raffle on Sunday Night Football. If you're on the naughty list, you just get 1. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. So if you want to take a shot, $10 donation, plus we'll sing a Cry Eagles Cry song for every single $10 donation we get. Because even though Coop will say ridiculous things like Dak Prescott's as good of a runner as Jayden Daniels.
He could be.
No, he could not, dude. If they ran in a race, he would lap him.
Yeah, because Dak broke his freaking ankle.
Oh, so that's the excuse
and
now?
And he has a bad hamstring now.
Gosh, dude, I cannot.
Pre-injury, Dak was a rusher.
He was a plus rusher. He wasn't a dynamic, game-changing type of player like Jayden Daniels is.
I saw Dak go 13-3 his rookie year.
Yeah, because Zeke Elliott carried him to that record. You want to talk about quarterbacks that are good with a lead, with a good run game? Take away Tony Pollard this year. How good was Dak this year? He sucked.
If Dak was in right now, they would have won 5 in a row.
Cooper Rush has played better than Dak Prescott did when he was in the game.
Now you're talking ridiculous.
Now we got the jam.
Now we're talking ridiculous.
All right, we got to stop fighting about the Cowboys. They're a joke. Dak Prescott is not as good of a rusher as Jayden Daniels. But make sure you guys tell Coop how stupid he is down there in the comments section. And without further ado, let's get into this next segment here, my Week 17 preview. Commanders versus Atlanta Falcons on Sunday Night Football is coming at you right now. The Washington Commanders play the Atlanta Falcons in a game filled with playoff implications on Sunday Night Football here in Week 17. Welcome into the show. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today we're going to be breaking down team trends between these two opponents. We're going to be talking about what these teams like to do schematically, what the Commanders need to do to collect a victory, and then I got my official score prediction at the end of this week's preview, so make sure you stick around to see who I think wins this matchup in Week 17. But before we get into it here, man, make sure you click that thumbs up icon if you want to beat the Falcons under the lights at Northwest Stadium. It's going to be so much fun, man. We're going to be going live, by the way, on Sunday night, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our watch party. So make sure you click that subscribe button as well to never miss any of our videos and any of our watch parties. Okay, let's get into this matchup here, man, because the Atlanta Falcons, currently first place in the NFC South, if you'll believe it, are coming into Northwest Stadium at Landover, Maryland here. Sunday Night Football, Michael Penix Jr. versus Jayden Daniels. And if the Commanders win this football game, guys, plain and simply, they make the playoffs. All right, so that win against the Eagles last week really set up the Commanders for success to potentially lock up a playoff spot this weekend. And that would obviously be very, very good for Commanders fans around the world. So hopefully these boys can deliver the dub. So let's go over some injuries here before we get into team trends, schematics, all these different things. Marshawn Lattimore, questionable to play at the time of me recording this video with a hamstring injury. This will go out probably later in the week. We're filming this on the live show on Tuesday. This will probably end up going out on Thursday, so maybe we get a different update on him. But the Jonathan Allen is technically questionable so far this week with a pec injury. Honestly, I don't expect Jonathan Allen to be on the field. If he gets back on the field, I think it's going to be more around Week 18 than this week. And then the Falcons also have some injuries of note here. Drake London is going to be questionable with a hamstring. I do think he's going to play on Sunday, though. Younghoe Koo, their kicker, is out on IR with a hip injury. Troy Anderson, Rondale Moore, and Braylon Trice are all players that start for them that are on IR as well. So you take a look here at the Falcons and how their season has gone. They beat the Eagles in kind of a miraculous game in Week 2, and they've beaten some bad teams. They've beaten the Buccaneers twice, so that's really the big reason why they are at the top of the NFC South right now, is because they've had so much success against the Buccaneers. But honestly, against other teams, man, they have lost a lot. They've lost to the Saints this year. They've lost to a bunch of different teams. Honestly, kind of a tough schedule. Broncos, Chargers, Vikings. Vikings was a tough stretch, but they've ended up winning their last 2 games against the Raiders and Giants, respectively, and they currently hold a record of 8-7. Take a look at what Raheem Morris, the new head coach there in Atlanta, likes to run schematically here. His offensive play caller, Zach Robinson, runs kind of a Sean McVay-style West Coast offense, and then Jimmy Lake, his defensive coordinator, runs kind of a bit of a hybrid. I mean, Raheem Morris has come from a different bunch of different schools. He's come from the Tampa 2 school. He's come from the Fangio school with the quarters and the cover 6. Like, he likes to run a bunch of different stuff, and he likes to really mix up looks to confuse opposing quarterbacks, so Jayden Daniels needs to be on his game. So the key offensive players on the offensive side of the ball for Atlanta, Michael Penix Jr. is going to be making his 2nd ever NFL start, his 1st ever on primetime football. Bijan Robinson, big-time running back, crazy change of direction, can make guys miss easily. He's also a really good receiving threat out of the backfield as well. Drake London, if he's on the field, a big-time target in the red zone especially, can really make some tough targets. Also really crafty route runner, underrated route runners, Drake London. Darnell Mooney's had a good season this year as their number 2 receiver. Then Kyle Pitts, he kind of stinks. He's a big-time bust. I think we can all agree on that, but he's definitely talented enough where you have to keep tabs on him. Take a look here at the trends between the Falcons offense and the Commanders defense this season. Honestly, this is a really this is a very even matchup because the Falcons offense has been one of the most mid offenses in the league this year, and the Commanders defense has been among the most mid defenses in the National Football League throughout the 2024 campaign. So honestly, it's kind of mid versus mid in a true mid-off here between the Falcons offense and the Commanders defense. But honestly, with Michael Penix Jr. in the lineup now instead of Kirk Cousins, you can kind of throw the trends out the window for the Atlanta Falcons on offense because it is a completely different offense with Penix in there versus Kirk Cousins. Penix's arm strength is just a lot better than what Cousins was bringing to the table. So the points per game trends here, like I said, take it with a grain of salt here, guys, but the trends do predict 21 points for the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday night here when you cross-reference that with the Commanders' defensive points per game allowed. Then we get to the other side of the ball here with the key defensive players for Atlanta. A.J. Terrell is a lockdown number 1 corner. Jesse Bates is one of the best safeties in football, ball hawk type of safety. Grady Jarrett's been a really good interior pass rusher for a number of years. Matthew Judon and Arnold Ebiketie are 2 pretty good edge rushers, and Justin Simmons is also another good safety in their secondary. Take a look here at the matchup from between these 2 units, and this one's a bit more lopsided. The Commanders' offense has been a lot more successful this year than the Falcons' defense. Honestly, I think that the Falcons don't specialize in anything, and I think that hurts them because they try to do a bunch of different things, and they don't run anything particularly well, all right, or at a high level, which really allows a high level of third down percentage, really a high level of red zone percentage for opponents. They don't turn the ball over all that much, and they give up a lot of points as well, whereas the Commanders are top 10 in every single major offensive category right now. You take a look at the points per game trends on this side of the ball. The Commanders are getting 28.8 points per game. The Falcons are giving up 23.3. Cross-reference those, and it would give you 26 points for the Commanders on Sunday. So if you've been keeping track of the trends here, that would tell you that it would be 26-21 Commanders win. The margin for error in these kind of trend analysis here is 3 points. So because it's outside of those 3 points, the Commanders are the clear favorite heading into Sunday based on the trends. So still to come here on the Commanders Report preview for Week 16. Keys to victory versus the Atlanta Falcons. Got my full scouting report on Michael Penix Jr. And I got my Week 17 score prediction for Commanders versus Falcons. You're not going to want to miss that, so make sure you stick around. But before we get into the rest of today's show, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Prize Picks, which is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this holiday season. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more than or less than on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long with Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Simply use code CLNS after you play your first $5 lineup to get that $50 bonus instantly. Join now because the holiday season or during the holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. You guys can see here, it's more than just football, guys. You can get basketball, baseball when it starts up again, hockey, UFC, even NASCAR, a bunch of different options on PrizePicks for you. We got a basketball projection here, taking the more on points for Nikola Jokic, 0.5 points. That's pretty much a free play right there. They take the more on Luka Doncic with points, rebounds, and assists, and I'm taking the less on points for Rudy Gobert. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you download the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, run your game. Got 4 keys to victory for Washington this week. The first one is to get after Michael Penix Jr. All right, and this is going to be a theme whenever you go up against Michael Penix because he is so good from the pocket, all right, and he's not good out of structure. You take a look here at what he did versus the New York Giants last week. Had some very impressive throws. He was pretty accurate, I guess, 18 of 27, 202 total yards passing. He had a pick and no touchdowns. So honestly, not the best stat line, but he did have some big boy throws that plain simply, Kirk Cousins can only make in his dreams at this point with that noodle of an arm that he possesses at this point in his NFL career. Take a look here at Michael Penix Jr., my scouting report on him. He's got incredible arm strength that can drive it to all levels of the field. The deep ball accuracy is legit. He can put it on a dime to any receiver 20-plus yards down the field. The mental processing is really good, can really process shifting safety, shifting coverages. Post-snap processing is on point for him. And then the intangibles is something I really like in his game as well. The cons, playmaking, out of structure. The wonky mechanics do lead to some accuracy issues at times when he's throwing off his back foot, and then the injury concerns certainly limit his athletic upside in terms of running around, doing all these different things out of structure. That's the way you got to beat him, man. You got to get him off his spot. You can't allow him to get it off on his first read because he's going to hit him. All right, it's kind of similar to Jalen Hurts, where Jalen Hurts is very much a one-read to play-make type of quarterback, but Michael Penix Jr. is kind of like that, only, he's a better mental processor, and he's not going to be making plays outside of the pocket. So, Michael Penix Jr. certainly somebody that I think could be a B to B-plus quarterback in this league, especially like with Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. You get him a nice play caller, you get him some nice weapons. He can be a nice starting quarterback in this league, but his lack of playmaking upside certainly limits his overall upside, in my opinion. But here in Atlanta, they can give him some protection, man. They got a really good offensive line. Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, Drew Dahlman is one of the most underrated centers in football. Chris Lindstrom might be the best offensive lineman, period, in our game today, and he doesn't get any credit because of the Penei Sewells of the world, the Trent Williamses of the world. Atlanta's not really ever been a dominant team, so nobody talks about Chris Lindstrom, but he's absolutely awesome. Then Caleb McGarry is also really, really good as a run blocker at right tackle, but that's the weak spot, guys. Caleb McGarry, in terms of being a pass protector, is not very good. All right, that is definitely his weakness. It always has been. He has shorter arms. So whoever the Commanders put on him throughout this game, that person needs to win to get to Michael Penix Jr., force him to make plays out of structure. And if the Commanders do that, it's not going to be a very fun day for Michael Penix. Then we get to my second key to victory here, which is to contain Bijan Robinson, because this is a game wrecker right here, guys. He can make guys miss. He can break long runs. We saw last week that Saquon Barkley had a really big run against this team, and it nearly cost the Commanders the game. Now, the Commanders' defensive front did a great job in the second half. I've never seen a defensive front this season shut down Saquon Barkley the way that this unit did in the second half of that game on Sunday last week. So they're going to have to come up with that kind of energy, that kind of fight, and they're going to have to contain Saquon Barkley if they want to dominate this football game the way they want to. Also, on the other side of the ball here, not only do you have to win the trenches on defense, you got to win the trenches on offense. The offensive line needs to hold up, and this has been an issue in the second half of the season. And, I do think that, improvements and upgrades are needed on this group in the offseason, but right now, this is the unit that you got, all right? You need Tyler Biadasz, Sam Cosmi, Brandon Coleman. You need these guys to step up, protect Jayden Daniels, create run lanes for B-Rob, do all these things. It's been a major weak spot in the Commanders here in the second half of the season, and it needs to improve. And the final key to victory, stay hot, Jayden Daniels. Goodness gracious, 5 touchdowns last week. Was trailing for most of the game. The Eagles defense knew he had to throw the football a number of times, and he was still dealing, man. So I have no worries about Jayden Daniels heading into the week. The Atlanta defense is kind of discombobulated. They got a lot of good talent in there, but they're implementing a new kind of hybrid, versatile scheme and they're playing a bunch of different coverages. They don't specialize in anything. So, there's coverage bust opportunities, all these different things. Jayden Daniels absolutely can cut open this Atlanta defense if he's careful. Now, the one player that he has to be careful for here is Jessie Bates, because he's roaming in the middle of that defense, and he is a ball hawk. Great instincts, great zone eyes. He's going to be able to really attack the middle of the field if Jayden decides to target that area. And honestly, man, there's been teams that just completely avoid the middle of the field because of this cat. If Jayden targets the middle, he needs to be aware of where Jessie Bates is. So my score prediction here, I'm going to go 38-28 Commanders win. All right, I'm going to go with Jayden Daniels and this offense to have one of their best games of the season against kind of this really, very talented but very undisciplined Atlanta Falcons defense this year. Now, I think Michael Penix Jr. actually does pretty well. I think Bijan Robinson has a decent game as well because, going up against that Phillies offensive front, or Philadelphia, not the Phillies, the Eagles offensive front, the opponents are 3-10 after playing the Eagles this year, man. So you're going to be tired. There's going to be a bit of fatigue in this game. It's going to be a factor, but I think that Jayden Daniels and the offense will do well enough here. And a little bit of a shootout, 38-28. I'm expecting a very entertaining football game, but I got the Commanders winning by multiple scores, 38-28 Washington. Now it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comment section. Predict the score of Washington versus Atlanta on Sunday Night Football this week down there in the comment section. I got 38-28 commies. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. I'm going to take, so we're actually going to be going live for this game, guys, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday night. So if you want to join us, it's going to be me and Joey Peterson. We're going to be giving away a Commanders jersey. We're going to be having a lot of fun, man. And, of course, we got extensive post-game coverage after our coverage of the game as well. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We provide you guys the best damn Commanders coverage money can buy, 100% free, right here on the Commanders Report YouTube channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button right now to never miss any of our content. All right, Coop, so we're one segment away here.
You in the mouth on Sunday.
Joey the Mouth Peterson will be here on Sunday. It was a lot of fun, man, singing those Cry Eagles Cry songs. The Falcons don't have a song, right? I don't think they do.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know. We might just have to sing Hail to the Commanders a couple of times because the singing was fun. We got another $10 super chat here from Kalawawa. He put one in earlier. He has another one. He says, I have a few questions. Number one, how do the raffle tickets work? 2, how far do you think we will go in the playoffs? 3, when will KJ Osborne play? So number one, for the raffle, we're going to be doing a wheel, kind of like this one. We have a wheel with all the names on there, and we're going to be doing the raffle at the end of the game on Sunday night. All right, so Kalawawa.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Make sure you watch the show on Sunday night. And we're going to be doing it after the game is over. All right, so we got those 3 raffle tickets earlier. Let's spin the wheel and see how many more you got here, Kalawawa.
3 more!
And it's 3 more from Kalawawa. That's 6 raffle tickets for you, Kalawawa. Hope I'm saying that name right, by the way. But make sure you join us at the end of the watch party on Sunday, or just watch the entire watch party. That's even better for your chance to win a Commanders jersey of your choice.
You want to answer the rest on the mailbag?
I'll answer the rest on the mailbag. Mailbag's coming up here soon, guys. Hashtag Commanders or Super Chat down there in the chat. If you want to get a question on this week's mailbag, if you got a question about Jayden Daniels, Dan Quinn, Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen, Marshawn Lattimore. If you got questions on anybody or anything surrounding this team, make sure you get those comments down there. Really do appreciate your guys' support. How many people we got in this chat right now, man? We got over 100 people on Christmas Eve.
Let's go.
Man, Coop and I were talking before we went on live, and we're like, man, we're going to get like 30 people on today's show.
You guys showed up.
It's Christmas Eve. People want to spend time with their families, and rightly so. But, hey, man, we're family too here on the Commanders Report. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate all the real ones that showed up today. We got one more segment. We got our mailbag coming up. We got enough questions, I think, Coop.
Yes,
I've been seeing a good flow of hashtag Commanders is in there.
We are good to go.
Sounds good. Crazy Taco, I see your question down there. Make sure you put hashtag Commanders on that, all right? Oh, $2 from Kalawawa. Another $2 says, here you go. Appreciate you, Kalawawa. Let's get into this mailbag right now, guys. Remember, while I'm in the mailbag, you guys can still get your questions in. All right, so if something comes up in the middle of the mailbag and you want to ask it, make sure you use hashtag Commanders or Super Chat to get on the show. Okay, let's get into it right now. This week's Commanders Report mailbag is coming at you right now. Welcome into this week's Commanders Report mailbag. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Thank you guys so much for making it to this week's mailbag and getting your questions in. I can't wait to see what you guys have in store for me today. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already, because we provide you guys free and informative Commanders content on this channel. Injury updates when we get to the offseason, trade and free agency, and draft rumors are always fun. And then, of course, we're going to be having watch parties for the rest of the Commanders games this season, including postseason play, at least we hope. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We will be going live on Sunday for Sunday Night Football, starting at 7:30 p.m. for this week's Commanders Report watch party. Got one in from Kalawawa, says, you're my favorite Commanders channel. Do you think we will take the 6th seed? So you take a look at the NFC playoff picture right now. The Commanders hold the 7th seed. And with the Green Bay Packers winning on Monday Night Football versus the Saints. And by the way, how much of a spanking was that, man? 34-0 on the Saints. Goodness gracious. But right now the Packers are sitting at 11-4. Now the Packers do play the Vikings this week. And the Vikings have been playing really well. They beat the Packers at US Bank Stadium earlier this year. So if the Commanders can win versus Atlanta, and the Vikings beat the Packers, that opens up the door. Now, I don't know exactly what the tiebreaker would be there because the Commanders and the Packers have not played, but they would have the same exact record, and that would certainly open the door for the 6th seed. But wherever you are, man, you're going to have to face a good team, whether that's the Eagles, whether that's the Rams. Both of those teams are pretty dangerous at this point in the NFL season. But honestly, I'd rather take either one of them. I'd like to take the Eagles because they're a divisional opponent. We know them. We just beat them. But also the Rams, they're a very young football team, and that defense can be exploited as well. So honestly, man, as long as the Commanders are in the playoffs, I'm good, bro. Then we got one from Eugene. Says, do you like Luke McCaffrey's new role as kick returner since he gets lost in the shuffle at wide receiver? Absolutely, Eugene. I talked about it on the post-game show. I think I talked about it on Monday's show as well this week. I love Luke McCaffrey as the kick return man. And, he hasn't really developed in the rookie season in terms of his role as the way we would have liked at receiver, but he's got a really, really good feel for space. Every time he touched the football as a kick return man against the Eagles there, it was getting past the 30, all right? And he busted a couple of those, past the 50-yard line. He's doing a really good job in that role. And I think that even with Austin Eckler out here, Luke McCaffrey has maybe even looked even better than Austin Eckler did in that role. So really love him in that role, man, especially if he's not going to be used at receiver. Playing him back there on kick return. Then we got one from Danny Boy here. Says, is there a case to be made that Jayden Daniels is already a top 5 quarterback in the game today? There's a case to be made because he provides both the ability to make plays with his arm and his legs from within the pocket and within structure and out of structure. Like there's to do it with a lead or to do it while trailing, to do it early in the game and late in the game. Like he can play good football in any situation, and that's something that only superstar quarterbacks do. All right, plain and simply. And I think Jayden Daniels maybe isn't quite there yet because he doesn't have the track record over a course of multiple seasons, whereas guys like Justin Herbert, guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford have been doing it for a long time. But I think, you can't make an argument at this point that he's not top 10. Like everything that he's able to do, he's a future superstar if he's not already a superstar in this league. And honestly, I think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback by the time we talk about this topic next year. So fill in the blank for me down there in the comments section. Jayden Daniels is a top blank quarterback in the NFL today. Is he top 5, top 10? Is he overrated? Let me know down there in the comments section. Do you think he's the best damn quarterback in football? Let me know your take down there in the comments section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And when that happens, take advantage of that time by finding that pinned comment and let me know what you think about the Commanders QB1. Got another $10 here from Kalawawa. Says, I have a few questions. Number 1, how do the raffle tickets work? I answered that on live. 2, how far do you think we will go in the playoffs? 3, when will KJ Osborne play? So I'll start with number 2 here. Where do I think they could go in the playoffs? I think they could probably win a game. All right, I think the offensive line, with the struggles that they've had in the second half of the year, kind of limits the upside a little bit. I think especially if Marshawn Lattimore with this new hamstring injury is out for multiple weeks. I mean, maybe at this point, if we're filming this on Tuesday, by the way, we don't have an answer on Lattimore. Maybe he's fine, But, there's certainly some things that lead me to believe that it's going to be a first-round exit or it's going to be a second-round exit for the Commanders this year. And that's okay, man. This is the first year of a rebuild. To be able to even make the playoffs is a hell of an effort from this team. And I think that starting as early as next year, this team can be a legit Super Bowl contender with Jayden Daniels getting some postseason play under his belt this year. In terms of KJ Osborne, honestly, I don't really love the player. He's not a really good route runner. Honestly, a lot of his production last year came from double teams going to Justin Jefferson and Kevin O'Connell completely scheming him wide open. He didn't do anything in that terrible New England Patriots offense. And honestly, I like guys like Luke McCaffrey, Lamedy Zaccheaus, Jamison Crowder more than I like KJ Osborne. So I'm not sure if we ever see KJ on the field, honestly. Then we got one from Magic Prods 2. Says, should we be worried about Michael Penix Jr. lighting it up on Sunday because there's not much film on him? The reason why you might be concerned is because maybe the Commanders' defense is fatigued after playing a very physical Eagles team. All right, teams are 3-10 this year after playing the Eagles because they wipe you out, man. Super physical, they're bullies, and, it does take a toll on the players' bodies when they play a team like the Eagles that just plays with a little bit more physicality than the other teams that you play over the course of a season. So the thing I'm worried about is fatigue on the Commanders' defense, and, if Penix has a clean pocket to work with all night long, which is possible here. He absolutely has the talent and the ability to throw the ball down the field to slice and dice an NFL defense. So, Penix can certainly do some damage, but I think that Jayden Daniels and the Commanders' offense can also do damage, so I still think the Commanders are the favorites to win this one. Then we go on from, Carey, Jesus. Says, how many spots on the offensive line would you replace next offseason? So you look at Brandon Coleman, Nick Allegretti, Tyler Biadasz, Sam Cosmi, and Andrew Wiley. Right tackle definitely needs to find a new face. All right, you need to get a new guy either in the draft or free agency. Got to replace Andrew Wiley. He's garbage. Nick Allegretti, I think he's a fine kind of backup piece, but is he a true starter in this league? Honestly, I don't. I like Biadasz and I like Cosmi. Keep those guys in place. And then Brandon Coleman, I would honestly think about moving him to either left guard or right tackle. And, if you have an opportunity in the first round to get like Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas to be your future left tackle, I'm jumping at that opportunity, man. Coleman, I think that he's got the skill set to be an NFL starting offensive lineman, but left tackle is a tough beast to handle. His footwork and his hand placement can get out of sorts at times. Which leaves him open and vulnerable to really good edge rushers. So if you can get an elite blue chip left tackle, I would say maybe replace left tackle as well. So 2 or 3 would be my answer. Let me know what your answer is down there in the comment section. How many spots on the offensive line should be replaced on the Commanders' offensive line this year? Let me know down there in the comment section. In just a second, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Fanatics. While I'm talking about Fanatics, answer this question down there in the comments. And with that, get a brand new Jayden Daniels jersey from our friends at Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/Daniels, you can pick up a burgundy jersey, white jersey, whatever you guys want. If you get some Christmas money, you want to spend that on a brand new Jayden Daniels jersey, you can do that right now. Go to chatsports.com/Daniels to pick up that number 5 beautiful Jayden Daniels Commanders jersey and put that in your closet today. Going from Eli Hokies fan says, how can the offense stand up against Atlanta's defense without holding? I mean, it's pretty simple, man. Play disciplined football. Allow Jayden Daniels to do his thing. And, on the offensive line, we talked about it, man. The talent has never really been there this season. If I'm being honest with you, you guys will remember the OGs on this channel. Remember me saying back all the way in the preseason and before the season started, this offensive line is going to be an issue for this team. They had a decent start to the year, and they've gotten worse as the season has gone on, unfortunately. So hopefully they can go without holding, but with this offensive line, it's certainly a possibility, unfortunately. Then we got on from Christian Andujar. What's up, Christian? Says, you think Commanders could upset the Eagles in the playoffs? Because in the first round, they play the Eagles. I think it's possible. I would probably pick the Eagles to win, especially if Jalen Hurts is back from his concussion, which he should be before the playoffs. Plain and simply, that is a good defense there in Philly. But plain and simply, I'm saying plain and simply a million times here, but, you look at what the Commanders do, what the Eagles do. I think that especially if Marshawn Lattimore is on the field, Like, the Commanders are a good matchup for the Eagles. And if any team's going to take them down in Philly in the postseason, a division rival in the Washington Commanders, a team that's already played them tough twice, might be the team that the Eagles really don't want to play in the postseason. So I don't think the Eagles want to see the Commanders. So as a Commanders fan, that might be the team that I want to see. Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. If you want to beat the Falcons on Sunday Night Football here in Week 16 and lock up a playoff spot for the Burgundy and Gold. Really do appreciate your guys' support. Every single like helps this channel and helps this video do the best it can be. And then we got one from Backdoor Jerome. What's up, Backdoor? Says thriller game, 32-29, overtime, Atlanta wins. All right, man, that would be a thriller game. It'd definitely be entertaining. We're going to be here watching it on the Commanders Report live watch party on Sunday, starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, by the way. Could see it happen. You know, if Michael Penix Jr. has a particularly great game, and I do think it should be relatively high scoring. My score prediction, Backdoor, is I got 38-28 Commanders win. I think that this offense has done a really good job all season long. This is not a good defense that Atlanta has. Their pass rush isn't honestly all that great. And I think that Jayden Daniels balls out in this one. 38-28 is my prediction. Then we got on from Clinton Portis FC. Says, what's the latest you're hearing on Austin Eckler? So Dan Quinn spoke to the media on Tuesday, and he said that Eckler could return for Week 18, but not Week 14, obviously, because he's on IR. So he is available to come back before the end of the season, and I do kind of think like he's going to be back, all right? And with Dan Quinn saying that there's a good chance that he could be back, that tells me that there's a pretty good chance of that. So I think that Eckler will be back, and honestly, you know, you look at this run game since he's been out, it hasn't been all that great. You know, B-Rob has kind of hit a lull at this point in the season, and getting, you know, your number 2 back in Austin Eckler and also a kick return man really would be huge for this offense. So chime in for me down there in the comment section. Do the Commanders need Austin Eckler to get that run game going and win a playoff game? Give me a yes or a no down there in the comment section. And let me know your thoughts. That'll be it for this week's mailbag, guys. Appreciate everybody that submitted questions. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. And until then, hail to the Commanders. All right, Mr. Coop.
Good stuff, man.
So let's put on a timer here for 3 minutes. 3-minute shot clock here for $10 donations to spin the naughty or nice wheel. If you guys want to get in on the naughty or nice wheel, nice listers get 3 raffle tickets for the Jersey raffle on Sunday night. Naughty listers get 1. So, Coop, if the Giants draft Cam Ward, how would you rank most talented quarterbacks in the NFC East?
In the East?
In the NFC East, in the division. And I think I know who you're going to say 1. I'm going to disagree with it.
We'll go bottom to top. I think Hurts is 4. I think Hurts is 4.
Hurts?
This is pure talent, right?
This is pure physical football talent.
Hurts is 4, I think. I love Cam Ward, dude.
I like Cam Ward too.
I'll go Hurts.
You're going to hate my list when I reveal it here.
I'm going to go Hurts 4. I'm going to go Ward 3, Dak 2, Jayden 1.
Oh, so you are going with Jayden number 1.
Yeah, he's younger. He's more durable.
Is he more durable with that skinny frame?
Yeah.
I mean, Dak's
had major injuries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. I'm going to go Jayden 1. 2 and 3.
Don't be ridiculous.
Pure talent and ability. I got to go with Cam Ward 2.
You are out of your mind.
Hurts 3.
No way.
Dak Prescott 4.
You don't believe that.
I do.
No, you don't.
I do. Dak Prescott, what he is known for is his mental processing. That is what he does. He can mentally process a defense extremely well. He is a game manager. He doesn't have a rocket arm. He has no ability to throw with different arm angles or from off platform. It's accurate. And he provides almost nothing as a rusher now because of the injuries.
I think you're out of your mind.
Like, if I'm ranking the quarterbacks, obviously I'm putting Dak above Cam Ward because the mental processing aspect of it is very important. It helps him be a very good game manager.
Would you put him above Jalen Hurts?
In overall ability or just regular quarterbacking? Like, overall?
Overall ability. In Sperry's QB rankings.
Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback.
No way. You put Dak on the Eagles, he does the same thing, if not
Here's the thing with Jalen Hurts, okay? If it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 goal line, it's a guaranteed conversion.
Yeah, because they cheat and use that push bullshit.
I mean, they're the only team that does it at the success that they do it.
It used to be illegal. I don't know when the NFL changed that rule.
Plus, Jalen Hurts has been an extremely accurate quarterback his entire time in the league. He's got one of the best deep balls in the game. He's also one of the best out-of-structure playmakers in the game, and that's something that Dak just doesn't really provide.
All I saw is the Eagles scored 37 or whatever it was with Kenny Pickett. So do they really need Jalen Hurts?
I mean, let's see. Did Kenny Pickett put up those points?
I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
Yeah, you didn't watch the game. Exactly. Jalen Hurts drove them down on the first drive, touchdown. He drove them down to the 5-yard line. Kenny Pickett comes in, and he throws one touchdown pass to A.J. Brown. Saquon Barkley takes an 80-yard run to the house. And there was there was literally 3 DPI penalties on one drive on A.J. Brown. So they got the ball pretty much free at the 1-yard line, and they ran the ball in. So did Kenny Pickett really score 37 on the Commanders, or was it the refs, Saquon, and Hurts that scored them?
Oh, now we're blaming the refs.
Yes, absolutely. There was one DPI on A.J. Brown that was ridiculous. Pickett put it in the 2nd row, and they said it was catchable. It was unbelievable.
What a joke.
It was a joke. It was a joke. All right, guys, we didn't get any more super chats, so Coop can be a clown if he wants and say Dak Prescott is more talented than
I'll see you guys on
Jayden Daniels.
If I'm here, I'll see you guys on Sunday.
We will see. I will for sure see you guys on Sunday. Me and Joey Peterson will be here for our watch party, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Joey appreciates Jayden Daniels, at least. We'll see you guys on Sunday night. Appreciate you guys spending part of your Christmas Eve with us. Until next time, go raise some hell.